You are the creator of your own reality. You are the vibrator of your own being. You are the discerner and the decider and the accomplisher of your own point of attraction. And it is so much fun when you deliberately sift through the contrast. Yay, stuff to choose from. You launch a rocket, and even though you can't hold it necessarily the first time, you know you can work your way around to that because there are endless processes to help you do that. And then when you finally accomplish that alignment with what you want, and the energy starts moving, and we love the word momentum. You feel the momentum of forces moving to assist you in the accomplishing of what you want. The way you said, if I need some assistance, in that need, the problem is accentuated within you. In that need, the question is accentuated within you. So of course, in your need, in your problem, you're summoning the energy, but you're blocking it, and that's why it feels uncomfortable. If you could just relax in the knowing that help is always there. It's always there. It's always there. Help, clarity, guidance. So just like everything, you know, we hear the question from you frequently through the years. Abraham, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to be general, or do you want us to be specific? Do you want us to decide what we want? Do you want us to be deliberate in our creation, or do you want us to chill and be allowers? Do you want us to sift through the contrast and decide, or do you just want the contrast to put stuff in our vortex and you just want us to chill so our vortex can flow into our grid? We've said all of those things to you. And so the answer to the question is, yes, do all of that. But here is the distinction about it. When you are positive, when you feel good, when you're tuned in, the more specific you are, the better it feels. So when you have taken the time to meditate, when you've made your list of positive aspects, when you're in love with life, when you're in love with you, when you are feeling good, and you get focused upon what matters to you, and we join you, you have a high-flying, energetic, passionate, good-feeling experience that attracts others that are like you, and it's so good for you, and it's so good for us. If you don't feel so good, then go general. So the worse you feel, the more general you want to go, because going general will cause you to diffuse the attraction of the unwanted energy. And then once you find that sort of neutral place, then your vibration will begin to raise automatically, unless you're doing that thing you do. It's like the cork under the water. It's only under there if you're holding it under. When you let it go, it's going to bob back up. So your natural inclination is that high-flying frequency. But the way you said, if I need assistance, you were focused upon the need and holding that cork under the water. And so many people are in that place of need, that place of start again. The reason that more people don't understand about this non-physical energy and all of this non-physical assistance is because they've been convincing one another that they are unworthy beings here to prove some sort of worthiness. And when you start from that premise, you cut yourself off from the resources that make you soar. It's never a good idea to throw you all in one basket and call it all one thing. But that's really a basis that so many people have found them to. In your comparative nature, because instead of getting inside the vibration and establishing the vibration of your grid so that what's in your vortex can flow in inspiration, instead what most people are doing is, as we were talking about earlier with our friend, should I do that or that or that? They're sorting the piles, and they're holding themselves in a sort of vibration of mediocrity that is keeping them from being who they really are. If you will leave this gathering and you will contemplate just this handful of things. Okay, I think I'm a vibrational being. I get that. And I focus my vibration through thought. So I'm going to do my best to focus on things that excite me. Not things that I should do, not things that I must do, not things that I have to do. Not things that I think I've done wrong, not things that other people think I've done wrong, not things that I think other people are doing wrong. In other words, if you just cut that out, your vibrations would raise instantaneously. But as we said earlier, you can't just cut out the thought patterns that you've had. And so what we seek to do in an environment like this is we want to awaken within you an understanding that this negative emotion that I may be feeling in any moment is there for one reason only. And that is, I'm off track from who I am. I'm looking at this in a way the larger part of me isn't looking at it. So I'm cutting myself off from the resources that I want. Do you go to a party to fill time? Or do you go to a party to have fun? Do you get in a conversation just to make the day pass faster, or do you get into a conversation to stimulate interest? Esther was over with grandchildren, Kate and Luke, the other night. And they had 1 hour before they were to go to bed. And Esther said, what do you want to do? Well, they couldn't decide because Kate's female, Luke's male, Kate's older, Luke's younger. They couldn't find anything that they both mutually wanted to do, and they both wanted to do it with Grandma. So Esther said, well, let's watch television. And Kate said something very profound. I don't want to watch television, Grandma. It will make the time go too fast. She wanted to savor this hour. What they were both saying is, we don't want to do something that's not very fun. We want to do something that's really fun. We don't want to just have a moment. We don't want this hour to just go by. We want this to be an hour that is representative of the life that we're supposed to be living. As Esther listened to them, she thought, you are amazing and greedy little children. And it is so good to want this hour of your life to be all that it could be. So Esther said, all right, then it has to be something new, something that we've never done before, something that we've never even thought of before. And she went in, and there was a porcelain wastebasket that looked like it had never been used. And she took it from the guest bathroom and put it in the middle of the living room floor. And then she took coasters. Esther calls them shiny beaded things because she couldn't remember what they were. Shiny beaded things, a stack of shiny beaded things, really good weight to them. And they started lobbing the coasters into the wastebasket for a good 30 minutes past bedtime because it was so much fun. No one wanted to stop. Now, we know this isn't maybe the idea of having the most fun that any of you would have, but it's the best Esther could come up with in the moment. And it was something that was new and that was exciting and that they excelled at. They were so good at it. They had so much fun at it. And it was an hour and a half, don't tell Mother, of really, 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 really good investment in life, you see. And that's what we wish for you. We wish you to find shiny beaded things and lob them into things that are meaningful to you. We wish for you to care so much about this hour that you're not willing to squander it on an old unhappy memory, or that you're not willing to squander it on some subject that your inner being won't join you in. We want this to be an hour that you want to live as fully as you can. And as you start approaching life in that way, what you will discover is there are a whole lot of us really good at a whole lot of things. Really good at a whole lot of things. How is it that little kids that have never lobbed anything at anything in that way before could do it so well? How can they do it? Because they were tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Their hand-eye coordination, their inner beings within them. It was really a beautiful thing to experience. All of us had fun. And it was as meaningful as world peace. It was as meaningful as finding cures to things. It was as meaningful as anything that any of you will live. You just have to accept that you're worthy and that non-physical cares and that now is the moment where you can hook up or not. And that you have to care enough that this be one of those moments that you're willing to go after it as one of those moments. And you come into this attitude of being unwilling to squander your life on less meaningful things, because once you've found something really meaningful, you must have that meaningful thing. You cannot go back. You cannot ever go back to less than you have lived. And the little ones still remember that it's supposed to be fun. Many of you have resigned yourself to accepting that it isn't supposed to be fun, but it is, it really is, you see. So many people are using their effort and their discipline to overcome their sloppy choosing of discs. And when you start deliberately choosing discs, then you don't have to use effort and discipline to overcome what you've chosen vibrationally. The universe just says, here. Esther's laughing the other day because she chose a disc that didn't feel that good, and she actually heard the universe say, oh, you don't like that? Here's some more. There's lots more where that came from. Yeah, caring about how you feel, that's a good way. I'm going to choose my mood. What mood? It's first thing in the morning. What mood? I'm going to be sullen. No. No. I'm going to be overwhelmed. That's familiar. I'm going to be hateful. No, not so much. Early on, they're your options. Hateful, overwhelmed, revengeful, fearful, hopeful, eager, enthusiastic, loving, appreciative, happy, high-flying, low-flying. In other words, you can use whatever words. You know what they feel like. You get to choose, but you got to choose early. So you choose early, and then your kids wake up, Go live with grandma. But as you choose more and more, as you deliberately choose more and more, then it's just easier. You gain momentum on that. It just gets easier and easier and easier. Until in time, you've given so little airtime to those things that don't feel so good, because you really only have a handful of issues that are causing you to repetitively believe. And now, perhaps we should put it on the disclaimer that you sign that says that this will be videotaped and that your voice may be recorded and so forth. You can't go back. Once you know this stuff, you'll never again feel any kind of emotion and not know that you've chosen some disc. And then for a while, you'll be standing by waiting for the manifestation of it. And as the manifestation never betrays you, because the law of attraction never gets squirrely on you. It always gives you exactly back the frequency that you're putting out. In time, you'll gain deliberate, conscious, joyous control of your vibrational output. And when you do, now you've got deliberate, joyous, conscious control of what comes back to you. And people will be watching you and they'll say, how is it that everything always works out for you? And if you're very wise, you'll say everything always works out for all of us. It's always working out for us. It's giving us exactly the disc that we are positioning ourselves on and practicing. And you know that. Think about the people that you know. You know them. You could almost name the people that you know that you're up close to, and you could identify the disc that they hang out on. And the fact that you know them well means that you're on there with them. We would like to make a very clear statement. It's easier to exercise your freedom in the early stages of momentum. And when you're in an occupation where there has been long-standing pushing against, there's some momentum going. But it's not momentum that you can't override. In other words, in all fields, in all endeavors, in everything that you do, there are layers of vibrational frequencies. And if you'll just choose your frequency and then go to work, choose your frequency and then go to work, choose your frequency, then write the letter, choose your frequency and then choose your frequency, and then you'll begin to notice everything that matters to you conforming to your frequency. Where most of you are picking a frequency without realizing it, and then law of attraction is causing the conforming to that frequency, and then you feel not free because you said, I didn't choose this stuff. And we say, yes you did. No I didn't. Yes you did. No I didn't. Well, you chose it vibrationally. Well, I don't want to hear that crap, Abraham. I want to talk about vibration. I want to talk about what's happening to me. And we say, what's happening to you is because of the vibration that you're choosing. How do I know? We say there's two ways you can tell what disc you're choosing. There's two ways. By how you feel when you choose it, and by what manifests because you chose it. But when you have deliberately sifted through data, when you have consciously launched a rocket, when you have consciously acknowledged that you want this thing that you don't yet have, but you believe you can have it because you know the laws of the universe, and you believe in your ability to focus yourself into a grid perspective that will allow the movement of it from the vortex into your reality. Because you know all of these things, now, when contrast comes, you say, oh good, more rockets to launch. And as the rockets are launching, you say, oh, that felt good. Can't hold it because I'm not used to practicing it. Oh, it felt really good. No, it doesn't feel so good anymore. I really liked wanting that for a minute till I realized I don't have it. We have enjoyed this interaction more than words can convey.